Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the live stream. This is our fifth live seminar. I'm excited to be here again. Sorry, guys, I had to take off a day yesterday, just too much going on, running around town, etc. So all good stuff. Just unfortunate, wasn't able to clear up some time yesterday, but here today. So I do want to just give some time to get in here because I see there's only a couple viewers in, and I only posted the link a couple minutes ago. Kind of running around again today, but we're here. So I do have some cool updates to talk to you guys about. Pending updates, ones that are not live yet, but they will be pushed sometime in the very near future. So just to discuss them so you guys can anticipate what to look for, what to expect from our official announcements. I did mention before multiple times that I do not like to be the person here on these live, streams to just start, talking about every single update that we're doing, just because of we are organized on our side. We want to stay organized on our side when we're pushing out the news to everyone. So, but I will talk about, the things that we are exploring to implement. But those official announcements, don't expect them to come from here on this stream, unless it's a special stream, I guess. It'll be noticed in the title. But for the foreseeable future, just expect all like official statements of updates that are live or ready to be downloaded or installed. Those are going to come from our official socials. So, but here we'll talk about what we have going on, the things that you can expect. I'll give you a little bit of preview. We've had a very open, reporting system for any bugs that may be found, not only just in Yan DNA, but in any of the products across our label. So we thank you for that. Feedback's obviously invaluable. We can only have so many eyes on a product at one time, right? So if we miss something, someone else sees it, benefits everyone. We're all here for the best interest of PAC. So we obviously do our best, try our best to not have any bugs, but that's, it can't be perfect. So it's really helpful to have people that are not only giving reports, but not being negative about it, just understanding, products are, things that we develop, we get out there for free for people to use on their own wish. And if you guys can help us make it better, all the kudos to that. We want that. So just letting a little bit more time roll in here, and then we'll get started. But in the meantime, if anyone has any questions while we have a little bit of dead air, feel free to just post them in the chat there, and we'll get started on them. Hey guys, welcome. Appreciate you guys are here. And I do want to appreciate you guys taking time to like share the links, either past videos or the upcoming ones that we've been pretty frequent on. So everyone's starting to realize that this is going to be more or less a daily thing. Fortunately, maybe the time may change, but I appreciate you guys getting that word out and getting other people in here to participate, ask their questions. I think I might start doing that. What I didn't do it by planning, but I was going 3 Eastern time every single day. I might change that up every once in a while, every random day, just for no reason. Sometimes maybe just to try and get people who can't catch the stream at that time at a later time. People in different regions might be coming home from work or just be available at a later time in the day for our region, is versus 3 Eastern time. A lot of people might not be home at that time in our region, but I understand it's beneficial for other people across the world. So I will try and switch up what times we do these hour-long streams just to try and give everyone an opportunity to catch it live. Because I think it's important that if someone has that opportunity, they can ask that question, and we can have a live, interaction. Everyone here involved. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into this. I don't want to have too much dead silence, so I'm gonna start talking about the first update that you guys can expect. Kind of like give a little preview of the things that we're doing. Um, let's see which one I want to start with. We will start with. Okay, we're going to start with different things, different changes, bug fixes that have been reported and fixed, not yet released. So expect those official statements to come from our, official socials, et cetera, as I said at the beginning of this. But we can start discussing some previews. So changes, wallet maintenance UI, reworking some things, obviously making improvements to that on the UI front. Wallet maintenance again, changed the open blockchain directory to open Yansei folder, added the more info symbol for more information, YouTube tutorial, etc. Some wording changed, fixes. So now we get into the actual fixes. PAC protocol core is shutting down, stuck in the loop. That has been obviously focused on for the issue to be fixed. Masternode bug fixes. Masternode deployment now requires a minimum of one confirmation at unspent output. Again, this is not a released update. Some of these things I said may change as further testing gets initiated. It's not a released update, but just want to give you guys a preview of what has been focused on in the NSAFE at this moment. Other things may be added to this. And again, some of the things I said may eventually change. So just to give you guys a little bit preview of what's currently being worked on, there we have on that. And this is an update for those that have had issues for deploying masternodes as well, in that one confirmation being required as an unspent output. So again, I'll repeat again last time on this, expect the official update to come from our official sources. This is just us having an open discussion on what we've already been focusing on and exploring to fix or implement. The other section we can talk on, Yan DNA, minor update, same data. Just obviously focusing on some of the bug fixes that have been reported via the forums, and some changes that have been done to just make it more accessible and easier for the users. Some changes, such as the same file or folder name is allowed on the same parent folder. It's now it will be allowed. Before you weren't able to have the same name as a file and the parent folder that the file was in. They couldn't be the same name. Now, if you want to do that, it would be allowed in this update to come. Create a folder. New folder is now a default name for the new folders that you make. When you press the button, instead of it scaling down, it shows darker. Password with more special characters will be allowed. Drop-down elements have been focused to be improved. And then additions to terms of service and privacy policy is updated. Bug fixes, other fixes that we've been focusing on to implement for these updates. Search for new works for all files and not on current folders. So it now works that you're able to search for different files a little bit easier. No preview file download button. It doesn't work. It wasn't working before. This has been focused on to be fixed. For the dark mode, light flashing at reloading pages, that's been focused on to be fixed. And then languages, a couple issues with certain languages, Japanese, Russian language, no preview, faulty download, that has been focused on to be fixed. Too long of a file name, the file going outside of the window of the UI, that has been focused on to be fixed. Let's see here, other. Hovering button background shows transparent for a few milliseconds in current mode. That's been focused to be fixed. When you were dragging a file to a folder, it would disappear on the current folder. That's been fixed. Weird window positions in mobile UI, that's been focused on. Images that have been taken from your camera on your mobile phone, shown the wrong rotation as the thumbnail. That like when you maybe you take a picture like this, and then when you look at the thumbnail, that happened to some people. That was fixed. Storage not visually updating when uploading a file, only after you refresh. So showing how much storage you have left, etc. How much that you now have if you've deleted a file. It was only updating upon a refresh of a full page. That's been fixed. Remove file from slider, meaning the preview didn't work. That's been focused on. And then dragging the file into the grid view was the wrong displacement. That's been fixed. So this is all still in the works. All still many other things that, as I just said, could change. Different fixes may be held off to be pushed at a later point if another bug associated with it pops up in our further testing. But again, just want to keep you guys updated that Yes, we are daily active on all our products, on the things that we obviously know in our front that we want to make better. And then the feedback that we get from you guys, it is not going unnoticed. It's going directly into our daily lists of how can we make things better, performance better, less trouble, etc. And that's obviously going towards the future of what we're trying to do. Can't just be a product that you release at one point and think it's perfect. Everything's going to have improvements as time goes on. So again, we appreciate all you guys being a part of this and contributing to that. It is a really big factor for us. I was, we were having just an open discussion on that, man of the people, basically saying, a network at the size that we're at right now, you can't really come up with other examples of networks that are much larger than PAC protocol and say whether or not that's beneficial or not. So I was just having an open discussion on that, saying the amount of nodes that we may have at this current time may, like we already may be perfectly optimal to perform every single use case that we can present, but that does not change the fact that for something to scale and continue scaling, you're still going to need a network to continue to grow. So we were kind of just having that open discussion of, well, what if this network that we have right now, 22,000 plus nodes, what if there was an update presented to PAC protocol network, the masternode owners to update to where you could have two different, I guess, nodes to choose that you wanted to deploy. The one right now costs 500,000 PAC. What if there was another option? And then you have two nodes technically on the same network, but can perform different utilities. We've thought about that in the past. We're nowhere, like that's not anywhere close to anything that we're doing now, because we're obviously focusing on an update that we've talked about over the past couple of days, that people have been aware of over the past couple of weeks, months even, with NFT support, launching a token layer on top of PAC protocol. So we were just having open discussions on these forums. Nothing should be taken like as verbatim, like we're absolutely 100% like that's what's happening, unless it's coming from our socials after these discussions. These are just for us to have those open forums. But in my opinion, no, we are not at that point. I mean, our network is still primed for growth. You look at the growth over every single month over just our last year, our 2021 report. Starting at 12,000 nodes in January, finishing in 2021, finishing in December 2021 with roughly 22,000 nodes. So 10,000 node growth over a 12-month period. That's amazing. That's something that you can expect to happen because from the beginning of PAC, that's continued to happen. I mean, it obviously does volatile. Nodes come on, nodes come off. But in my opinion, we're still on that scale of growth for the network. So we have a lot of different utilities that are going to be presented over the future that can be implemented onto this network. And it's all due to masternode support, those owners, servers being supported, and just being responsible members of the community and showcasing that this network is capable of providing different utilities. And that's what we're here to do. Any other news on exchanges? I'm not at this moment, Tipster. It's just something that's not being primarily focused at this point. There's still all the things that we've talked about in the past, the different applications that I have personally filled out and sent, receive requirements for listing. One of the main things that is a requirement for these large exchanges, because we're not here to go after like every little exchange for no reason. Like it's not really something that we push with PAC. We're obviously focused on products that we build. That's a large part of like our budget and spending stuff is taking care of what we have to in-house. But as far as like getting listed on other exchanges, we've obviously done that over the years. Anytime we have that opportunity to do so, we do tackle it. But for these large exchanges that we want to get on top of and be part of, it's really hard to be able to fulfill every single requirement, especially when we cannot control some of the certain requirements, without doing things that I personally and our team does not agree with. One of the main requirements for these large exchanges are minimum volume reportings. So on your current exchanges that you're listed on, they want to see how much volume you're pooling, if it's worth it for them to even list you on their exchange, because they want to make money off the transaction fees of that volume, on the exchange traded. So we can't control that. Obviously, I can't control the amount of volume that is happening for PAC protocol at any given time. We can obviously advocate for the products that we're building, bring in new people, new eyes, pay attention to what we're doing. But those products and also buying PAC protocol has no direct implications to our company, PAC Global Holdings LLC. So we can't, control how volume goes. Obviously, that's up to the people that want to get involved with the network. And we have that belief that if we build products that are decent and provide solutions to real world problems, then the people will come and that volume will naturally have its own, foot to stand on without anyone directly trying to manipulate volume just to show a report factor for exchange listings. Yeah, as I mentioned, I am the one that leads those, the one that signs these contracts and has those conversations, and there's negotiations with fees, etc. We can't talk about the exact exchanges because the basic things on this, it's just common sense business practice is they don't want other projects to know what everyone's paying to be listed on. There is no, that's why you won't find an exact set listing fee most of the time on these exchanges, and a lot of the time why they're negotiable. But no, there's no update as far as top 10 exchange being ready to go, ready to list. Yes, there has been contracts signed on both sides. Issues have come up, not related to what we talked about today, not about volume, not related to PAC either, but just come up on the other side of things with specific exchanges, not going to name, where these contracts are by their own standard able to be nullified because they're the ones writing these contracts, So you have to play by the rules. I don't write the rules. Can't control a lot of the requirements, but we can push for them, and together, I'm sure that we'll be able to, you know, we'll be able to accomplish those things. Yes, there are plans for PAC to be supportable for MetaMask. The reason for that is because we're currently active in development for building a decentralized bridge for wrapping PAC. So you'll be able to access Ethereum mainnet network supported wallets such as MetaMask. Same thing for Binance Smart Chain, which I believe MetaMask has as well. You can like change what chain you're connected to, your account. I believe it does, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that's on our plans for Wrapped Pack to be accessible on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. Our main focus is for that is because when this is accomplished, obviously the users now have a choice to swap, their pack and access exchanges such as Uniswap, PancakeSwap, etc. Our plans are to provide X amount of liquidity for these, but again, we can't obviously control the amount of pack that gets wrapped because it'll be a decentralized service and anyone will have that accessibility to wrap their pack. So just another option for the community to, make use of, and, the use of it, the benefit of it, and the value that is perceived from it is a lot of that has to do with whose hands it's in, and that's going to be you guys, the community users, the new people that show up to pack protocol and the different use cases that we're providing. These are all factors that we're just trying to give you guys and different opportunities. How has this network handled the pressure test? Recently, there has been several breaches and hacks. I'm assuming you're talking about just like, and that's a general statement because there hasn't been several breaches and hacks on PAC protocol. So I'm assuming you just mean generally, like in like the real world, I guess, like hacking data, et cetera, et cetera. I agree with you on that. That has happened. It always does happen. Not just data, but well, data is included in finances, so I guess it is data, but not just things like leaked movies and leaked files and celebrity photos and hacking people's accounts, but financial data and information, those are being hacked. Just recently, there was a pretty large exchange hack. So, it does happen. It happens all the time. That's why we believe in a distributed, then enhanced to a decentralized data network that shards the files up. No location-based filing system. It's all content-based. So you don't have that centralized location problem. That I fully believe, and we all fully believe, is the future of how data needs to be transferred. That's how Web3 needs to be organized. And so let's see here. I mean, we're positioned to have those discussions and how we can solve their specific solutions, but they have to be open to, advancing their technologies. But I mean, to elaborate on that, are we ready to have those discussions? Yes, because we've had these discussions. That's what we've been talking about over the past couple of days. Just to recap a little bit, the different events that we've attended, Hollywood figure events, data centric events. We go there specifically to network with among our leadership that we have. Being introduced to different companies that are in need for better solutions, paying attention to the blockchain world as it's booming. It got a lot of people's attention this last year, especially the NFT space, which has a lot to do with, where is it being stored at that point. So we have a lot of open discussions on that stuff. White glove service, walking people into the blockchain industry, explaining them, giving them education, and that's why a lot of our products, if not all of them, we focus them on to be user friendly, extremely user friendly. That's, in my opinion, the best way to educate someone is not to teach them by just talking, but to give them something and make it really easy for them to do it too. And then if they want to start learning the hard way, then by all means. But as long as you're still learning how it works and capable to do it on your own, you're now on a level playing field with a lot of people in this industry. So that's our goal, is to get people all able to do the same things in blockchain, but do it very easy, and then introduce those to different companies that are getting involved in this space and or looking for their own private solutions using this technology. That's one thing that I think goes over a lot of people's heads, or maybe they just don't see it, is that blockchain technology is not just centric to needing to be in a decentralized aspect. You can use blockchain technology to solve your own private, personal, in-house company problems without needing it to be a decentralized layer. It doesn't always need to be that way. So there are solutions that we've obviously talked about with our private business conversations, and how some of their problems can be solved with a private blockchain network, not necessarily PAC, not necessarily anything, just explaining, educating. With that, they start to understand that we know what we're talking about and that we can get them involved in the right way. And so that's our goals. Yes, absolutely. Decentralized social network, you can using IPFS PAC protocol. Um, IPFS, if you just look at it, it's a database. It's a distributed database, potentially able to be decentralized based off of support from decentralized individuals supporting nodes. So you can theoretically have any kind of social media application, video streaming service, etc., using IPFS as data storage. That's why I just mentioned how sometimes the um, desired solution for different companies may not be a decentralized solution. It may be a distributed solution. Using blockchain technology to connect all these different servers in that kind of aspect allows data to be stored without relying on a location-based filing system, using a content-based filing system, save on bandwidth, save on a lot of different things, but they're still able to use the new blockchain technology. So yeah, there's different ways that apps can be built, and then using IPFS, whether it's a distributed or decentralized setup, you're still going to have benefits on how that application is going to be operating on the back end. Um, you can even further it to start including different privileges for those that are actually helping decentralize it, and maybe they start contributing to the rules that are for that platform, because that's the one thing that not the one thing, but just there's a lot of things that people have to keep in mind. You could have a decentralized network, but if you're building a product to be used that network, the product is going to have its own rules too. There's going to be things and limitations that the person who built the product just isn't going to have in there. It might have a lack of features, or just features that maybe be like, for instance, yeah, DNA and PACAP, how we just talked about different features that we're fixing or adding, etc. We get feedback from you guys, right? Same thing goes for any platform. So you could, build a platform, attach it to a decentralized backend, but you're going to have limitations on what you allow on your platform. That's also going to be a legal battle as well. when it comes for different situations like that. So people have to start understanding when you start doing things like that, you have to start thinking in the business world, you have to start thinking in the safety world, because certain things you do not want, going across a product that you are attaching yourself to, because some people are just built that way, and you don't want to allow that to just be an easy way of corrupting something that you're building for greater good. Alex, yeah. So we this is why I'm again saying that official statements are going to be our official statements for updates and stuff. I'm excited to explain to you guys about WPAC and PAC. We've talked about that already extensively today, so I'm not going to go too much into it again. But I will correct one thing that has been said in the past directly by me, saying that there was a fixed supply of 50 billion PAC. Our first method of how we were going to create a bridge was basically cover the supply ourselves, on the PAC side, and allow people to wrap up to that amount. Didn't really make sense once we started diving into it. I realized I was probably a little bit misguided in that. So that's why we changed it into this effort of, okay, we're building a decentralized bridge asset now, to where the supply of WPAC is purely based on how much PAC is wanting to be wrapped, and that's up to the people. It has nothing to do with us. So there won't be a max supply on that. It'll just be, if someone wants to send in PAC to wrap, that's going to be the supply that's now, in WPAC, and that's up to you guys. Can you explain more about how creating your own tokens? No, actually, I can't go more into that. I've already given enough information on that, just because that's not something that's going to be accessible for everyone on day one. Just to give my feedback on that, I have explained that, but the YAN token that is to be used to acquire data storage for YAN DNA is the first token to be implemented, part of this token layer update for PAC protocol. With this update, it will be something that other people are going to be able to create their own token and their own supply for their own use cases, projects, etc. It will be a collateral event, meaning you have to spend PAC to do so. Additionally, the transfer of any token on the layer, including YAN, you'll need PAC for the transaction fee or the gas fee, if that makes sense. If you're used to looking at fees that way in gas. And the reason why we're not going to have it in this update to where anyone and all tokens can be created out like on day one, is not to overshadow YAN DNA, YAN token, the whole purpose of this, NFT support, etc. So as I don't have an exact timeline, but as that progresses, there will be another update to where basically the easiest way to explain it, like a light switch, with a spork in the in a spork for the network, we can allow people to start creating their own token with this collateral event I just explained. But more details will come on that when we have like the full rundown on how that will be accessible for you guys, when that's ready. But it is exciting because that's going to be another opportunity, use case, whatever you would like to call it, that PAC protocol, the network itself, is now offering to anyone that's using it. It doesn't need to be a full node runner. Just has to have PAC to participate. And like I said, it'll be a collateral event. So if you decide to create your own token in your own project, hopefully you're doing it for the right reason, because you'll have to put some PAC of your own in as skin in the game to start your own project or whatever it is. That's up to you guys. But more information will come on that as we get there. Price predictions doesn't that won't ever come out of my mouth. I'm sorry. It's just not something I focus on. I mean, I do focus on nothing but positivity. So everything that we push forward, our business partners and our networks that we bring into PAC, it's obviously for the best interest of PAC. So I mean, I don't give price predictions, but I just predict us to be nothing but positive for PAC moving forward. And just speaking, as um, just building good things for the PAC network and bringing more people here. It's funny. Well, if I do gotta blink, so I'll blink like 3 times. There. Okay. I'm just giving a little bit of time, see if any other questions come in. I expected as we continue doing these, we may not stay like the full hour, just depending on how many people are here or what day it is, or if the questions are drying up or not. But that doesn't mean any less that I don't appreciate anyone that's here, especially on a Saturday. I know you guys are busy, so I appreciate you guys being here. Okay. Well, I think we covered quite a bit today. Um, Again, I do apologize for not being here yesterday, but we are definitely consistently working, busy across all boards. You think I'm busy? I'm probably, you know, the developers I work with, the marketing gurus, our legal help, everything. They are all working just as hard, if not harder. I can't do any of this without my supporting task team and without you guys. I've enjoyed doing these a lot more than I'm not saying I wasn't expecting to enjoy these, but I do really like being able to sit down and chat with you guys on a consistent basis like this. It's cool for me. Yes, web designer is active on that actually. Um, it's in the works. We actually brought in a new web designer to focus fully on that, so that like how we currently have, like when I've said before, our team's expanded, like not just in the leadership or development, our creative design team, our legal counsel, etc. Like we've expanded across all ways, and we are a private company, so that's not always going to be like known to everyone. We're not going to talk about every little thing that we do because we don't have to, and it's just going to bore people half to death half the time. But going on that, we've expanded our dev team quite a bit. So we now have other developers that can just focus specifically on tasks such as web design, et cetera, and not have to do a collective group effort again, like we have in the past, which is awesome. Like I'm not saying we don't still do that. We still work as a group on specific tasks, but we've just been able to expand. So we have our own web designer now, fully focused on this. Thanks to Yan, actually, he introduced him to us. He found him. So that's going to be something that we're excited to get done as well, because I know we've been saying that for a while and it's been in the works or pushed behind other plans that are more prioritized. But that's why we needed to expand and just bring on more help here so we can accomplish everything at the times that we need to. Yes, current partners. Um, Well, yes, I mean, we do have certain things that we talk about with current partners that are not necessarily part of our public relation of the partnership. That's one thing that also needs to be understood is when we have business partnerships, there are some of them that are like for public off, like to give to the people of both networks for us to collaborate and build products together. But we are a development company by nature. That's what we are. So that's why us expanding and having the opportunity to work on different things, present our ideas to these different partnerships. Sometimes we have private contracts that are situated with our partners that, they reach out and say, hey, are you able to do this for us, or can, well, and those are things that we just can't publicly talk about because that's just how it's decided. But that's why I kind of hinted on that. That's the valuable part of these partnerships for us, is that we're able to directly work with them, be accessible to them, and vice versa in the event that we need help on something that we're building, and we can have them jump on our, jump with us. So um, we do have some cool things in the works this year that just you just have to pay attention, and it really won't be hard to it'll be really hard to miss, I should say. So just pay attention this year. Some of those partnerships are going to start coming into the fruition with like real use case products, etc. But that's just going to come from the socials of our official socials to inform you guys. So just pay attention. That's what we've been focusing on over the last year and a half, just getting introduced to all these different people and getting stuff planned and ready to go. We have done airdrops in the past. We do them, every once in a while, sometimes with releases of products, sometimes, like you mentioned, bring in more people. That obviously relies on, a fixed amount of PAC being situated for such things, which is, like I said, we've done in the past with the PAC app and referral programs, et cetera, bringing people in, you get 100 PAC, et cetera. So we have run promotions like that. I do expect probably to see some again. I don't know exactly when, but it's something that we have done. So it'd be safe to say it's probably going to happen again at some point. Okay. All right, guys. I think we're going to end the stream here. We have 15 people in here. I appreciate you guys. It's about to be the 40-minute mark, and we've gone over quite a bit of topics. So why don't we just save the rest for tomorrow for anyone that hops in tomorrow? People enjoying their weekend, so I understand. So I want to just give you guys the rest of your time. I want to spend too much of your time, but thank you for being here, spending that time with me, giving me some questions, some input, and the other days as well. I've learned some cool ideas too for different things that we can put into our products just from these discussions. So appreciate it, guys, and have a good one. Have a good rest of your day.